denkt gerade, als wir den Winter 94 verfolgt, den macht das privat.
Second pilot select and last pilot select started.
Innsbruck in Austria, nestling in a valley deep in the Tyrol, and above Innsbruck sits the small town of Igls, the venue for the Winter Olympic Games sliding in 1964 and 1976, and indeed the downhill and the Super G right alongside on Heilige Wasserstraße. Welcome back everybody to the 20th Women's Monobob World Cup race. Only 2 athletes in our field have started all 20, and that is Lea Haslwanter and Cynthia Appiah, or they are Lea Haslwanter and Cynthia Appiah. Neither currently in the points in the top 3, but let's wait and see what the second heat brings us. In 3rd place, Brianna Walker. Now Brie with 2 bronze medals so far this season, and she was in the medals last time out as well here, taking a bronze in the 2nd race last year. In the silver medal position, Kaysha Love took a silver medal ahead of Brianna Walker in the 2nd race. I beg your pardon, in the 1st race last year. She lies just 702nd off the lead, and the leader took gold ahead of silver Kaysha Love and bronze Brianna Walker in one of the 2 races last year. She took 2 golds in the monobob and a women's bob gold last year in Innsbruck. 3 in one weekend, an enormous success for Lisa Buchwitz. Brianna Walker taking a silver and a bronze last year. Kaysha Love taking a silver. Cynthia Appiah taking a bronze. But it is Bochwitz, Love and Walker again in the top three. Just 100th out is Lara Nolte. If Nolte improves and gets into the medals, it will be her 50th podium finish in all bobsleigh competitions, World Cup, World Championships and Olympic Winter Games outside of the Euro Cup. Below Lea Haslwanter, only the top 20 going through, so Lauren Jolo, Bianca Ruby, Sarah Blizzard, Victoria Chinanska and Georgetta Popescu will not get the second heat, but Kaysha Love definitely does, and lying in second place with a really big chance of claiming a third Monobob World Cup win. In the background you can see the red jacket Melanie Hasler, in the centre Cynthia Appiah, and on the right hand side was Austria's always joking bobsledder Katrin Beierl. Yingqing of China back in the World Cup. Katty chatting over things with Cynthia. Cynthia disappointed, I think, with her first heat. And Katrin Beierl just ahead of her. There's Debora Annen, daughter of Martin Annen, lying in 11th place after the first of our two heats, tied for 11th. And our top 20 athletes go in reverse order in the second heat. So Lea Haslwanter of Austria is first off, and Lisa Bochwitz of Germany will be last away. So all sorts to conjure with. It is a tight race. 20th Monobob World Cup. It's the fourth of the season in the IBSF World Cup. Lea Haslwanter gets us back underway. Second and deciding heat here in Innsbruck in Austria. Well, Lea started 6:01, 17th fastest in the first heat. Came down in 20th place, just making it through into the second heat and denying Lauren Jolo of the Netherlands a second run. So let's see what she's got here, 6:08. Out of corner two, heading down past the men's loose start into three, and then between 4 and 5 as we get into the upper labyrinth here. You see the women and doubles start coming in there. That's where the luge towers come in. And out of 6, down towards 7, the Kreisel, 270 degrees, double pressure corner. Out of 8 into corner 9. Important to come straight here, up over the brow and down into 10. She had a little skid and a tap. And then the lower labyrinth, 11, 12, 13. Coming at you very quickly. Little chance to renegotiate your line. Hits the wall coming across the line in 14, 55.19. She came down 55.02 in the first heat. And one of the difficulties with learning to drive a bobsled is getting enough repetition. In an entire competition weekend, you will end up doing, especially at World Cup level, you end up doing 6 training runs, and if you're lucky, 4 more runs in competition in each of your 2 disciplines, mono or women's bob, or for the men, 2-man, 4-man. So 10 runs in a competition weekend makes it hard to learn the tracks when you're starting out. Next up, 19th after the first heat. In fact, tied for 18th place is Great Britain's Adele Nichol, a 10th ahead of Lea Haslwanter. Still with a sore foot, having run over it just before Christmas and cut it wide open. Quite gory injury. 6:01, started 6 dead in the first heat. So that gives her another 700ths of a second over Lea Haslwanter, 1700ths in front, now to 1900ths, out to 3/10 of a second. This is a decent second run from Adele Nichol already. Now, if she can keep this together, she might make some good progress up the order. Finished in 9th place in the second race last year, 15th in the first. Growing to 4/10, better speed than the Austrian. Little tap away there, making the most of a fresh spritz on the ice. A spray of misty water that smooths out the ice surface, like sending the Zamboni down, ducks across the line, 54.81, pops up again immediately because she's got the prospect of trying to get the sled slowed before we run out of tunnel. Whoa, 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 stop baby, stop. Doesn't. The problem with having both hands on the braking handles is you can no longer steer. So it goes right up onto the rubber. Out of 9, has to drive it off, tries to straighten the sled and avoid a big hit. Gets a little tap, comes back for 10. 54.81, 900's quicker than her first heat. Little sketchy down here in the lower labyrinth. When is it not? Kind of looks okay at real speed, but yeah, super slow-mo always shows you how dramatic it is. Not sure the drivers actually really want to see that. I think they've got it all under control. It's about hanging it out there at the limit. Pierre-Luc is walking in the background having a bit of a yawn. Long time since until he needs to be getting his sled ready to run. First up is Kaillie Humphries, tied with Adele Nicol after the first heat. She started just 200 slower, 6:02. And came down exactly the same time, 54.90. Started her career as a brakewoman, so adapting her starts to the monobob, not so much of a drama. 6:02, same start as in the first heat. So 100th behind Adele Nicol as she sits down. She's in the red. Nice and clean so far. 1, 2, and 3. Out of corner 4, avoids the tap into 5. And down into the Kreisel. Keeping a nice constant radius. Out of 8. Into corner 9. Ooh, squirreling down the straight into 10. Taps into 11. And across the line, how far back? 1200s back. So in second place, Adele Nicol picks up a spot. So the Aussies and the Belgians working together. Sarah Blizzard getting some coaching tips. She was down there helping, actually getting coaching tips from Anne van Nieuwenhuis as well. It's kind of a good way for a small nation like Belgium to share the cost of the coach. So Anne gets paid because she's on tour all season with her little baby. That also means that for Sarah Blizzard, she gets like coaching, but with only a percentage of the cost as well. So all good news. So Adele Nicol leads after the first 3 as we get to Frenchwoman Margo Boch, 100th faster than Nicol and Van Petegem. So we had 3 sleds covered by just 100th of a second. You want tight? We got tight. Started 6:07, so 700 slower than Adele Nicol in the first heat. Adele started 6:01 in the second, 6:04, so she closes the margin. 300s back, 200s ahead rather, as she's 200s back as she sits down because she was 100th ahead. Get there eventually with the maths. She's in corner 3 before I get the start maths worked out. I mean, that's just dreadful, isn't it? 400s in it. Now let's see what speed she can produce. Third best speed. She's the 4th sled down. Second on the splits, but still a whisker behind Adele Nicol. 200s to 400s to 500s back. She can turn that around with a good run down through the labyrinth. 700s back. It's probably not going to happen, is it? She's going to duck ahead. She doesn't actually. 54.89, 700s back. So the 3 sleds covered by 100th of a second. Adele Nicol, the quickest of them. Margo Boch, the second quickest of them. And Kaillie Van Petegem, the 3rd quickest of them. And that is how they line up currently after the first 4 sleds down. Max Robert on the right, and on the left, Bruno Mijon. And they split their time and energies between the French team and the Monegasques. France with Margo in the women's game, and Monaco with Borisva in the men's. So not a massive clash. Next up for Canada, Melissa Lotholtz. Melissa in 16th place after the first heat. Hasn't had a World Cup outing here. Did race in the Monobob World Series, which predated the World Cup. Raced here in 2021, and the World Cup in 2021. She was the winner here in the Monobob World Series race then. 5.85 in her 16th place in her first World Cup start. Some 5.84 in the first heat. Nice and quiet so far. 3/10 up. Started 1500s, 1600s faster than Adele Nicol. And she had 700s in hand after the first heat. Gaps coming down, was 3/10, now 2300s. Little untidy 9 to 10 as well, and that'll take more speed out of the sled. Ooh, in trouble. Only 800s up. This is a little wild coming into the labyrinth. This is going to be close. 400s back at the line. So Adele waving, I think, to some supporters over by the finish area. This Lotholtz slips a fraction, just 400s behind Adele Nicol. The tunnel in all sorts of ways, not fit for purpose. Look at that. That's high in 11, isn't it? Crikey. And she will have felt that. She will have felt going light in the sled. And the problem is, you know, you've got half a second between corners. Really, just no time at all. Adele Nicol, Melissa Lotholtz, Margo Boch, the top three, 5 down, 15 to go. Race 4 of the IBSF Monobob World Cup here in Innsbruck. The 20th Monobob World Cup race. And next up is Kaillie Humphries, 15th after the first heat. 800s in hand over our current leader, Great Britain's Adele Nicol. Kaillie starting 6.04, so similar start time to Adele. .609, just losing a whisker. So much of her first heat advantage has gone at the start. Now, not the most successful of tracks for Kaillie Humphries. She's got so much experience. She can definitely outdrive her start in these sleds. 21st fastest starter in the first heat. Came down in 15th place. Tells you all you need to know. Top speed for Humphries. And creeps into the lead. Better speed again than Adele Nicol. Not bad from 9 down to 10. A little more of a tap and a meander than she would have liked. It's going to be close. She should have enough speed on board. At the line, she is in front, 54.79. So Kaillie Humphries comes down 300s quicker than her first heat. And that is enough to take the lead. Guarantee herself at least 15th place. Adele Nicol will be no worse than 16th. Kaillie Humphries 7th, 11th and 12th so far this season. Altenburg, Sigulda and Winterberg. Altenburg, arguably her favourite track and quite possibly her best. One she really loves. Well, finished 4th in the World Cup here 2 seasons ago. Didn't race last year. Had a baby in the middle of the summer. Next up ahead of Humphries is Linda Wyszewski of Poland. Now benefiting from a very early start draw. She was 2nd out of the start shed. 5 of our first 6 starters in the top 14. So that early ice definitely not a hindrance in any way, shape or form. Second and third out. Vaishevsky and Yingqing of China having good first runs. We saw that in the men's competition as well. Dave Wesselink of the Netherlands, no insult to him, but to be 7th after the first heat in a full-fat World Cup two-man's field, that's a lot of start advantage. 5.96. So that is the second fastest start behind Melissa Lotholtz so far. 1400s up on Kaillie Humphries. She is going to have to outdrive the American to stay in front, though. Opens up that margin to 2/10. 1800s up, gap is dropping a little. Such a short track though, only 1220 meters from start line to finish. Whoa, a little late off 9, skidding into 10. Those vital tenths are going away. 1100s up to 400s back. She'll be behind Adele Nicol at the line, maybe drop to 4th behind Melissa Lotholtz. Does, 5th place, in fact. She drops behind Margo Boch as well. Kaillie Humphries in the leader's box. So in the dark and cold of the tunnel, Linda Vaishevsky slips 4 spots, down to 5th currently. That's a 7-8 transition, and here she is coming out of 9, hauling it off 9. That just sends her into the wall, and then she gets the tap-tap, and the tail slides free. No push athlete in the back to stop it meandering where it likes. Next up is Sylvia Hoffman for the USA, 3rd fastest starter, 5.82. Gets in, gets down, 5.80. She's really giving it all the beans here. So we will have a US leader at the end of the run. Will it be Sylvia Hoffman or Kaillie Humphries? Well, in terms of monobob driving, Kaillie, the Olympic champion, of course, more experienced. She's been doing this since it was first introduced. Missed last season, but Sylvia only started driving last season after the Beijing Winter Games. Coming into America's Cup racing and World Cup racing this season. 3800s up. So the gap has come down from 52. She'll have enough in the tank to be in front at the line by 3/10 nearly. There's baby Auden. Bless him. 54-55. Back with his mummy. Kaillie Humphries out of the leader's box, has now gone from being athlete back to mum. That's such a tough balance. Such a tough balance. Sylvia needing more ice time just to refine the lines. Boy, she was high there. Again, that transition so difficult for a modern sled. Wait till you see the 4-man there, barely any runners on the ice at all. Sylvia Hoffman has the lead though. We have 12 to go. In the tie for 11th place here in Innsbruck, Switzerland's Debora Annen. So Annen in just her 5th Monobob World Cup start. Junior World Champion in Monobob for 2024. World Championships happening this week in Samoritz, by the way. Skeleton Worlds already underway with the first ever Team Junior Worlds. Second and third in Europe Cup races here last season. 5.96 getaway, better than her first heat 5.99, but 1600 slower than our current leader Sylvia Hoffman, and she was only 300s in front of the American. Hoffman, Humphries, and Great Britain's Adele Nicol is at 1, 2, 3 at the moment. .2300s back. At the moment, Debora Annen's second best speed, in second place ahead of Kaillie Humphries, losing out to the massive starting Sylvia Hoffman. Tidy line out of 9 down to 10, one of the better ones we've seen. Nice in the labyrinth as well, not too high, not too dramatic. How close at the line? A dead heat! All right, well, she's come from one dead heat into another, Sylvia Hoffman. Tied for 11th after the first run. She is now tied for the lead with 11 to go. Well, the gap came down from 2300s early on to absolutely nothing. Now, our friends in Swiss Timing always have 1,000th to refer to, but in the sport, officially, everything is done to the 100th of a second, which means we do get dead heats. Apparently they don't like that in luge. We do. There is Debora Annen. So 11 to go. We have a dead heat for the lead, and on the block is Cynthia Appiah of Canada. Dead heat with Debora Annen in the first heat, and only 300ths out of the top 10. And Cynthia again a little under par this season so far. 3rd and 5th here last year. One of her 5 World Cup bronze medals in monobob came here last year. This is her 20th World Cup start. Only she and Lara Nolte have done all 20 World Cup monobob races. A good strong start, 583. It's just a whisker slower than Sylvia Hoffman. She's in the red at the moment. It's not much, is it? Just 600ths of a second. Good speed, 300ths of a second. Nice exit. Taps into 10. But that puts her on line. Another tap down there, 10 to 11. Oh, she's in the green. She's going to take the lead and challenge for a top 10 finish. Sylvia Hoffman and Debora Annen out of the leader's box. And in goes Cynthia Appiah. She leads with 10 to go. .54.53, fastest run of the heat so far. So she breaks the tie with Debora Annen, and she leads with 10 to go. Nice exit out of 9, just to get an unfortunate tap off the wall on driver's right, but actually the second tap put her straight and down here in the labyrinth. Busy, busy. All right, Cynthia Appiah leads from Debora Annen and Sylvia Hoffman. We have 10 down and 10 to go here in Innsbruck. Next week, we head back with Bobsleigh to St. Tough little tour there with, with the American athletes helping out down at the bottom. So we head back to St. and it will be a double monobob weekend, because we didn't have mono last weekend. And double 4-man in St. as well, so no 2-man next week. And the reason for that, of course, is that in Sigulda we can't get 2-man down the track, so it's a double 2-man weekend. So 4-man lose out when we go to Sigulda, and you have to make up elsewhere. Frequently, that's been here actually, Innsbruck, because more than once, or once in the last couple of years, been a double 4-man track. But we've had a gazillion 2-man races since COVID in 2020 on this track. of Austria, just 300ths of a second in hand over the current leader from the first heat. Let's see if she can use her home track advantage to try and claw her way up the top 10. 5.90 getaway. Katty finished 14th here last year. Her best World Cup result on this track has been an 11th place in monobob. Found an extra 400ths over her first heat start. So is the warmth of the afternoon actually helping them at the start go a fraction quicker. Ooh, little meandery from 6 down to 7. Means she has to work a little harder in the Kreisel than she would like to. 200ths back, third best speed. She was closing, but the gap is opening up and not clean out of 9 either. This is not ideal for Katrin Beierl, still 300ths back. Needs the Austrian wormhole in the final corner. Touch ahead now, go across the line, 300ths up, 54.53. Exactly the same downtime as Cynthia Appiah, so she lives on her first heat advantage. It is a personal best for Katrin Beierl here in Innsbruck, a top 10 finish. She finished 9th in Winterberg, 12th in Altenburg, 14th in Sigulda. And her all-time best result is an 8th place finish in the monobob. Too many errors creeping in. She did well to cling on somehow. Yep, Cynthia's second heat wasn't quite as tidy as she'd have liked either. Notice her tucking ahead there. It's a top 10, Katty. Now then, a massive 100th of a second faster in Heat 1 was China's Yingqing. Let's see what she can produce here. Started 6.01, so a slight start deficit, which actually means that she outdrove Katrin Beierl in Austria. Let's see if she can do it again. She's going to need to take the lead here. 100th in front. Ooh, and a little meander at the start. 5.98, so 800 slower than Katrin Beierl, but 300s quicker than her first heat. Beierl went 400s quicker than her first heat. 1600ths of a second back. 5th at the start, down to 6th on the splits. Leaning around the cowl of her sled to see where she's going down into the Kreisel. Nice exit, straight down to 8. Second best speed for Yingqing of China. Oh, skidding down into 10. Good height, nice exit. Still nearly 2 tenths away though. And this is going to see her drop to 5th place at the line. 54.77. Katrin Beierl leads with 8 to go. So this is now equaling her best result of the season, a 9th place in Winterberg. Yingqing slips down to 5th with 8 to go. Not the tidiest of runs, and didn't have control of the sled, ran into corner 1, and out of 9. Broadside on the ice, same as skis and skates, that slows you down when you go sideways. Only 9, yeah. Okay, Alana Myers-Taylor is up, 11th fastest starter, 8th at the bottom of the track. Even on this short track, she can make up for that slight start deficit. Easy for me to say. 5.93 to get away. And her advantage over Katrin Beierl is actually one of the biggest in the entire top 20, 1800ths of a second. 5.90, so improves her own start. Does look like the start is running just a little freer. Out of 2, into 3. Nice smooth lines from Alana Myers-Taylor. 1500ths of a second up, was 1800ths. Starting to build the advantage now into the Kreisel. Nice exit. Top speed out of 8. Nice out of 9. Best exit we've seen from 9 in the entire run so far. Good height in 10. Building that advantage. Was 1800s in the first heat. This could be getting on for double that at the line. 2900s up, 54.42. So Alana Myers-Taylor will be no worse than 8th place. Last year 5th and 6th. And this year her results 20th in Altenburg, 8th and 7th. Watch the runner tips here in 9. Spot on. Superb 9-10 transition. That really builds speed for lower down. So into the top 7 with Kim Kalicki. 200s in hand over Alana Myers-Taylor from the first heat. Now Kalicki started 300s quicker with 5.90. Alana has just started 5.90. So if Kim starts the same, she will have just 200s to play with. Crashed in race 1 last year, didn't do race 2. Doesn't have great memories here, 5.93. So whatever advantage she had in the first heat is already gone into the red. Starts slower than Myers-Taylor. 100th back. No FES sled advantage for the German athletes in monobob. They all use the same German-built sleds made by Igls in Bavaria. Better speed than Myers-Taylor though. 400s back. Does the gap shrink? No, it doesn't, because she lost that speed below the Kreisel. Decent exit out of 9. Not as straight and true down to 10. Gaps out to a 10th. Katrin Beierl in second is 2900s back, so Kim Kalicki will slip behind Alana Myers-Taylor. Second place at the line, 54.54. Alana came down 54.42, not 5.4. So Kalicki will be no worse than 8th. Katrin Beierl currently 3rd, no worse than 9th. Not quite, I don't think, Katty now going to tie her best ever Monobob World Cup result of 8th. But you never know. If Kalicki can crash it here in Innsbruck, then we could see others having dramas as well. So Alana Myers-Taylor, the leader, with 6 to go. In 6th place after the first heat, Andreea Grecu of Romania, 10th in hand over Alana Myers-Taylor from that first heat. 6th and 7th here last year. 6th, her best result in race 1 on this track. 17th World Cup start, so she's actually started more than Alana. She had a whole season last year, 2 years ago, where Alana wasn't competing, where she still was. 17th out of 20 World Cup possible starts for Andreea Grecu. She's done almost all of them. 5.87 the getaway, 5.85 in the first heat, so that adds to her advantage over Alana, out to 1300s. And that extra little bit of speed that she carries should help it grow. It doesn't. From 1300s as she sat down to 1200s. Down to a 10th. Speed isn't there. Now this sled also making a strange vibrating noise that we didn't hear. Not the tinny rattle of the runners, the sort of noise that we're getting off something in the airflow. Did it in the first heat, it's doing it again. Only 100th in it. She hasn't got enough speed. Alana Myers-Taylor is going to have this at the line, I think. By 200s, not by much. 54.54, exactly the same downtime as Kim Kalicki. So she stays ahead of Kalicki by 800s, as she was in the first heat. But Alana Myers-Taylor was 1200s quicker than both of them and holds the lead with 5 to go. Well, Andreea, 5th fastest starter in the field, came down 6th fastest in Heat 1. Not sure that's going to be the 6th fastest run in Heat 2. Either way, slips a spot behind Alana Myers-Taylor. Debora Vlad at the top of the shot there, helping with the sled. She'll be in a 2-man tomorrow, or in a women's race tomorrow. Next up, Mel Hasler with 5 to go. So let's see what Switzerland's Melanie Hasler can produce. 7th and 4th here last year, and currently lying in 5th place. 1300ths of a second in hand over our leader Alana Myers-Taylor. 5:86 is the getaway. So that adds another 400ths to the advantage over Myers-Taylor. Out to 1900ths of a second, just creeping away a fraction. Myers-Taylor quickest below the Kreisel. Quickest in is Hasler. Nice exit, that was really well judged. 3rd best speed, 1800ths up. So holding that advantage. Decent out of 9 into 10. Little late flop off 10. 1600ths, she'll take the lead at the bottom unless she wrecks it, and she was a little square there, but across the line by 1200ths, 54.43. So Mel Hasler takes the lead. Top 5 finish guaranteed. Top 6 guaranteed for Alana Myers-Taylor. And that will be Alana's best result of the season so far. 20th, 8th and 7th so far for Alana. Top 6 guaranteed. Top 5 guaranteed for Mel Hasler. Sitting way back in the sled, leaning right back, getting the weight over the rear axle. Head out of the wind. Kind of weird single-seater race car driving position. 4 to go. Mel Hasler leads. Who is going to take the medals? Well, if Lauren Alter can improve by 100th on her first heat position, then she will be in the medals for the 50th time in her top flight career. Two-time Monobob world champion, 5:83 getaway, finds another couple of hundreds, and here that is more important almost than anywhere else. Start in Innsbruck, qualifying in Monaco, almost the most important part of the weekend. 2200s up over Melanie Hasler. She had 1300s from the first heat, but it's not about looking backwards and defending, it's about trying to claw her way into the medals. She has 49 medals now in Monobob and women's bobsleigh in World Cup, World Championship and Olympic competition. Can she make this the 50th? 2500s up. It's a really good looking run from the world champion across the line. 54.23, 500s quicker than her first heat. Is that enough for the medals? Two big thumbs up from Kevin Kuska, and they don't come much bigger thumbs than Kuska's. Just struggling a little with the hand rotation in the first couple of steps off the block. She found a bit more speed in the start. She found a bit more speed on the ice as well. Nice exit, 9 to 10. She's so hard to beat in these sleds. Gold in Altenburg, silver in Sigulda. Now Brianna Walker, 2 bronze medals in Sigulda and Winterberg so far in the Monobob World Cup this season. And Pierre Luders, The coach with the front of the sled. 100th over Lea Haslwanter, the world champion. And this for the first of our medals. Top four were covered by 1400s, fourth to third, 100th. 588, strong getaway, 587 in the first heat. But that puts her behind the 8 ball compared to Lea Haslwanter, who started 583. 1100s back, but good speed into the Kreisel. She's going to need all of that and more. Decent exit from the Kreisel, down into 8. 9 to 10 needs to be clean, it's not. Good height in 10, but has she lost too much speed? Yes, she has. 1300s back, the gap's grown again. It is going to be Lea Haslwanter in the medal. Second place at the line for Brianna Walker. Haslwanter in the leader's box, Brianna Walker in second, Mel Hasler in third. 2 to go. Well, that is a 50th World Cup, World Championship and Olympic podium guaranteed for Lea Haslwanter across the 2 disciplines. No medal guaranteed for Brianna Walker. She's in second with 2 to go. Could not keep it quite as neat and tidy as Lea Haslwanter managed. And here out of 9 is a classic example. Just a little later than she wanted. Tapped, skids down to 10, comes in on the wrong side. It's going to be another top 6 finish, though, for Brianna Walker. 2 to go, and they were separated by 700ths of a second in the first heat. Kaysha Love of the USA, and finally it'll be Lisa Buchwitz. Kaysha finished 4th and silver here last year. 2 Monobob World Cup wins in her 2 seasons of racing. This is only her 2nd time driving here in Innsbruck in competition. Ooh, just gets away with it down into 1:5.76, finds a little fraction more at the start, ties the fastest start of the competition, which was that of Lisa Buchwitz, who comes last. 1400s up on Lea Haslwanter. So she has doubled her first heat advantage over Haslwanter of 700s. Now she must continue adding to that. Third best speed into the Kreisel, gaps out to 1700s, stays at 1700s. Faster than Lea Haslwanter, takes a hit out of 9. She was quick at the bottom in the first heat. She's quick again. The gap's coming down. It should be enough to take the lead. Is it enough for gold? Kaysha Love takes the lead at the line. 54.24, just 100 of a second slower than Lea Haslwanter in that second run. But she will be at least a silver medalist, equaling her best result here in Innsbruck. So that will double her haul of silver medals, at least. Or maybe it won't. Maybe it will add 50% to her haul of golds if Lisa Buchwitz fails to hold the lead. Not a bad-looking run. Exit the 9, though, is going to have cost her some time. Kaysha Love in the medals. 1 to go, and that one is last year's winner of everything here. Took 2 victories in Monobob, and she won in the women's bobsleigh here in Innsbruck. 3 races, gold in them all. And she was in the middle of an epic streak of wins. .700ths of a second, the advantage after the first heat. 5.74! She ends up with a new start record. 200s quicker than her first getaway, which tied the start record of Cynthia Appiah. A 10th up, so she's added 300s to Kaysha Love. Gaps back down to 700s. Slower than the American sled. She can't afford to lose any more. 13th best speed. Loose off 9. No better than Kaysha Love. The gap is coming down. She's tied. She's going behind. Or is she? Could we have a dead heat for gold? Does she get her 4th in a row? She wins it by 400s. 54.27. Well, she gets a start record and her 4th gold in 4 races in Innsbruck alone. 3 in monobob and last year's women's bobsleigh as well. And it's her 3rd straight win of the monobob season. Lisa Buchwitz does it again. Well, everybody thought she was a great brake woman. Turns out all that time she was a great brake woman. Now she's got a 2nd career as a great driver. And that start definitely does not hurt, especially here. But you've got to convert it. You have got to be able to drive the tracks. And boy, she can drive these tracks. Lisa Buchwitz claims gold for the 3rd straight time this season. Her 3rd monobob victory in Innsbruck in 2 years. And last year's women's bobsleigh winner will go again tomorrow afternoon in the women's bob. But Lisa taking it by 400s from Kaysha Love. Laura Nolte takes her 50th women's bobsleigh and monobob podium ahead of Brianna Walker, Melanie Hasler and Alana Myers-Taylor, top 6 for the first time this season. Adele Nicol rising up from 19th to 15th place, just behind Kaillie Humphries, Ying Ching and Sylvia Hoffman, and Debora Annen tied with Hoffman a whisker out of the top 10. Well, that's how they finish here, but there again is your winner. Laura Nolte with plenty to celebrate, back on the podium, her 50th podium. How many has Lisa Buchwitz got now? Well, in terms of monobob alone, that's her 13th monobob podium, her 8th monobob win in her 19th start. So it took her a little while to really get her head around this, but last season she started a winning streak that has barely been interrupted. Kaysha Love with the silver, breaking up the German domination of the podium. Laura Nolte on the right with the bronze medal. Nolte the winner again here in Innsbruck. That start is such a powerful weapon here. Laura Nolte 2nd in the World Cup standings, behind our 3-time winner this season, Lisa Buchwitz. Brianna Walker in 3rd, ahead of Andreea Grecu, Kim Kilicki and Kaysha Love, rocketing up to 6th position. Well, that's it for monobob here in Innsbruck. Double mono next weekend in St. Moritz. 2 more chances for Lisa Buchwitz to put gold on the mantelpiece. And our 2024 Youth Olympic champion, Maya Voigt. Look forward to seeing her back again. Well, that's it for Saturday's action here in Innsbruck. We're back on Sunday morning, tomorrow morning, 11:15 live, 10:15 GMT, 05:15 Eastern. We start with the 4-man and the women's bobsleigh in the afternoon. Until then, from everybody in Innsbruck, it's me, Martin Henry, saying thank you for joining us. We'll see you then. Bye for now.
go. So, Lisa Bukic, congratulations on yet another win. You are really dominant this season.
Yes, it was really a tough race for me. On Monday I was very, very sick. It was not so easy peasy lemon squeezy. And yes, but it's a new start record for me and a new track record for me here. And yeah, I'm really happy, and that's enough for today.
Yeah. You have a really, really good push, and push times of course are always very important at Innsbruck. Why are they so important?
I think I'm a hard girl in the weightlifting room and train very hard in the summer. And yes, that's the victory for the summer, I think.
Yeah. And without great push times, you can't win in Innsbruck.
Yes, you say it. It's true. It's true.
Congratulations, enjoy your win, and see you next race.
Yeah, thank you so much. Bye.